This is an up-and-coming spot, and I hope to do more events here. But we have the co-founder of Film Week to tell us what this particular spot is about.
Thank you, Erica. Film Week Miami is a nonprofit organization that supports media makers, independent media makers in Florida. We have 10,000 media makers that come to us with creative ideas, and we take them from the beginning till the end to distribution. This is a space that we opened in 2009. It's called the Downtown Media Center. It's a home that you can come in with anything that you want to learn or create, be it a virtual reality project, augmented reality project, film, short film, documentary, and we will help you as a member. And I was really excited when Adrian proposed that we meet the lovely Erica and host the Blockchain Center, because we've been wanting to learn more about blockchain and how to create opportunities of financing and more independence in the creative communities of Florida, because we don't have tax incentives. We're always looking for funding. We don't love LA that much, so I've worked on one union film, Iron Man 2, and I will never work again in a union film. I'm super punky. I want to make my own way, my own films in my own creative way, and I think blockchain is the way. So we're happy to have you here. I hope that becomes a creative collaboration. And without further ado, here's a lovely Erica.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. It's a beautiful spot. If you guys want more events here, please talk to her if you have the individual meetup groups. Now, who here had a drink? Please raise your hand if you had a drink. All right, so we're going to thank Mr. Gabriel from Pit Mining Market. So if Gabriel wants to make his way up, I would love to, everyone clap for the man who brought you. So Gabriel runs a mining wholesale factory, but he also has a really cool location in Wynwood. If you've been to our events earlier this year, he came out. So this is, it's okay. It's a school. It's a school. They're learning. They're learning. All right, Gabriel. Here, let me mic check. All right.
Thank you, Erica. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. It's great to see all this interest in Bitcoin. Everybody, coming back to Crypto Mondays. We missed it, and I think that the industry is booming right now. And I congratulate Erica as being one of the pioneers in Miami, just pushing, adoption and interest in Bitcoin. So, I'm on a different area, but I think I'm also always trying to, make sure people understand Bitcoin, and I think it's the future for many reasons, like you guys all know. So one of the things I want to start implementing with Erica and a group of people is, giving classes and workshops for people who want to start into Bitcoin, because most of us here already know how it works, know a lot of things, but we all have a friend or a family that's like, oh, what's Bitcoin? How do I buy Bitcoin? What do I do with Bitcoin? And we want to start doing some classes where people can not only go physically to learn, but also online and educate a lot of people, in the history of Bitcoin, how to set up your wallet, what are the preferred exchanges, all the businesses that are revolving around Bitcoin, what the future looks like, short-term or long-term strategies for investment. So it's just, it's an initiative, and we have somebody here, Roberto, around. You got the guys, he's right here. Anybody who's interested in whether, signing somebody up or as a speaker, because we want to promote the community for people to, share their knowledge. So anybody here that wants to speak or participate in these classes, talk to Roberto. There's a QR code as well. You can just scan it, and it's easy. So thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy the night, and I'm very glad to have all these people here.
Thanks for the drinks, Greg. Awesome. So housekeeping items complete. Like you said, we're doing a course. We call it Get Off Zero. If you guys have zero Bitcoin, you have people that need to learn about Bitcoin, how to set up a wallet safely. This is not financial advice, but if you choose to have Bitcoin in your portfolio, we can help you do that safely. So Roberto right here. Also, he'll be at the front desk if you guys just want to sign up. We're going to start classes in February. And then we have a QR code that we'll be running here if you just want to scan it as well. Make it easy for everybody in the 21st century. Okay, so panel discussion. Let's get started. You guys, this is Miami's second annual Blockchain Week. This topic is where we've been. This is going to be covered by our OG over here on the far right. Where we are. Adrian's kind of my expertise on that. If you guys know Adrian, he'll talk about himself. And then where we're going. We have Tone Vays here to talk about where we are going and where he is supporting us as well in the Miami ecosystem. So
I'm the one who's here with the most trouble after this. Oh, that's a
you
rough
just want to
mic,
introduce
man.
yourself? Go ahead first, Drew.
You know, seeing the participation is always great. I've been here since 2013 in the Miami community. I'm a native, born and raised. My name is Andrew Bernard.
He wants to go fast.
We are a Bitcoin ATM platform for operators who want to own and operate their own Bitcoin ATM. So that's one of our products. And then I'm also co-founder of HODL Wallet, which is a mobile open source peer-to-peer Bitcoin wallet that's decentralized. That's kind of like where my humble beginnings kind of start from. We started BitStop back in 2013 here in Miami. We're also
Mike's bad, so share that one, I'll share that one.
So we started BitStop here in Miami in 2013, and since then we've grown to 500 Bitcoin ATMs nationwide. And we have a lot more planned for this year, so we're super excited about the growth lately. It's taken many years to build up, but things have been heating up lately, and with that becomes explosive growth and so forth for not only us but also exchanges and all other Bitcoin companies. So rising tides lift all boats in that regard, and yeah, just super happy to be here. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Awesome. Adrian, bring it on.
Number one, unbelievable turnout. So everybody give yourselves a round of applause for showing up. Erica long did Crypto Mondays. We would definitely get a turnout, but this is unprecedented, I think, and especially this day and time and what we've all been going through. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces, new faces, especially in the Miami community. We've all been to conferences and panels. We probably hate conferences and panels. We're going to make this a quick panel. All right, guys? We're aiming for 30 minutes. It's a little hot. It's crowded. Everybody wants to meet each other. So real quick, my background, I was in media. I was a war correspondent for CNN, MSNBC, Vice, Discovery. I swallowed the crypto pill. We did the CNBC Crypto Trader Show with Rand for 3 years, around the world covering crypto. But I grew up here on the beach. I'm a Miami native and local, just like this guy, who's a builder. Who's an awesome, awesome builder from the roots up. It's great to see a community building and forming here. And now we have all these New Yorkers and San Franners coming in town. It's like invasion of the body snatchers, which is great. Which is great. And the mayor has been playing it up like crazy, which is great. But we do believe in like homegrown building, and we're happy to support that. Lastly, just a raise of hands real quick so everybody kind of gets to know each other. Who's a builder here? Who's a dev? Who's a founder? Etc. Raise your hand.
Raise them high, guys.
Great, great.
Good for you.
Who's a speculator? Who's a trader? Who got into Bitcoin from like?
Get in for the Lambos. Stay for the revolution.
Just so everybody knows, and then afterwards, make sure everybody connects, gets in touch. Trading signals. Tone is a great Bitcoin guy. Our new platform, Crypto Banter, we're live every day. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, covering all things market.
I think I was on your first show, right?
We're on the first show. You're on the first show.
Oh, this is a rough mic.
So
I'm gonna show you a mic.
Some of us weren't lucky enough, like Tone, to get in super early. The trickle down effect.
This guy.
He's rich. Exactly.
No.
And on the Tone.
All right, so Adrian wants this panel to be quick, and he's not familiar with my 12-hour live streams. I don't even know how to keep it under an hour, but I will try to make it quick. Yeah, that was good. I agree, like all the New Yorkers and Californians are coming to Florida and a little bit of Texas. As long as they don't vote like what they did, what caused their disasters, I'm all happy for that. I'll make it quick. My name is Tone Vays. I have a YouTube channel just under my name, Tone Vays. I organize conferences as well. My American conference is called Unconfiscatable. It is normally in Vegas, and I'm here in Miami to try and see if it's time to move it to a freer nation, to a freer state.
Come on down. We're gonna have their logos and everything, all their contact information scrolling in the background so you guys can catch each and every one of them. But since there are a lot of newcomers here, let's just start it off with an easy question. If in 1 or 2 sentences you could describe what is your favorite thing about Bitcoin, and you don't ramble please, and also you can't copy the person before you.
I love how it gives people, including myself, freedom. And I love how it brings the weirdos out and open-minded thinkers. So.
Yes.
If you're a weirdo, give yourself a round of applause. Come on. Excellent.
I agree completely, and like I said, if you weren't early on this technology, it's a community ground up. It's the trickle down effect, and it's true rate.
I'm fine. I love the war. I love the heat.
Sort of thing. And all the characters that we've met were freedom loving, independent, and free thinking. It's super interesting.
Hey guys, look, Bitcoin is just amazing, but the one thing you want to be careful of, if you're getting into Bitcoin to be rich, you're probably going to end up disappointed. You have to get into Bitcoin for the right reasons. And for me, there are 3 reasons. One of them is the most important property of Bitcoin.
Try that one.
Yeah, but this one's rough. Okay, maybe it'll be better. For me, there are 3 properties of Bitcoin that are really, really important. One of them is unconfiscatability. I have the conference called Unconfiscatable. It's the first asset in human history that you can own that no one else can take away from you by having a bigger gun. And second property is censorship-resistant value transfer. You can transfer it to anyone in the world. All you need is internet. And the third is it's hard money. It's the most scarce asset that we have, even more scarce than gold. And those are the 3 most important properties of Bitcoin, and that's what's going to keep me in the space forever.
Definitely sound money is so important for us.
The longest 2 sentences ever.
Yeah.
That's tone for you. So, okay, now you guys both touched on community, right? What's important is the people that surround you. And I love seeing all the faces here, and even like the maskless faces, like not taking sides, but that's really cool. Now, what is different about the crypto community here than in other places in the world? And Adrian, you can start this off because you've been everywhere.
Yeah, I think Miami,
I'll try that one, it's better.
Best kept secret. I think growing up here and anyone who's from here, we always knew that it was the most underdeveloped urban core in the country, right? And it was all talk of like, oh, New Yorkers and funds and VCs and developers are coming. Like, they didn't build up Biscayne Boulevard where the World Center is until 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you have this influx because we were the best kept secret. I think we like not having to be, at the office at 7:30 and leaving at midnight. I think we like going on a sunset run and setting our own schedule and being laid back. The LAers and the San Franciscans and New Yorkers come to Miami and they're like, oh, you guys don't work. No, we enjoy life. Right? We enjoy life. You guys work. We'll trade some crypto, do well, and then have our day job, and there you go. So that's my favorite part about Miami is that we do enjoy the work-life balance. And now San Fran and New York.
It's a bad mic, though.
All right, Tone, so as a world traveler as well, what do you like about...
Oh, you want to go? All right, so...
do you want to answer this one?
I can't wait to be a bigger part of the Miami Bitcoin scene. I think there's 2 major factors. One, New York, San Francisco, I think they're done. I think what happened in the last 12 months just destroyed those cities. The young people don't want to be tied down. Like, as much as we hate on young people about their education and being a little bit too socialist, they want to enjoy life. And Florida has been the one place to actually come out and enjoy life even during COVID and quarantine. And young people are way more open to technology and things like Bitcoin. And the other part is the Latin American culture coming in from South America. Again, it's a lot of fear that people coming from places like Venezuela will end up trying to bring that kind of socialism and destruction here in the US. But from what I've seen, it's the opposite. These people are leaving those countries for freedom, and they're gonna want that freedom. And they're also way more open to something like Bitcoin. So I think that combination is incredible, and it's gonna happen here in Florida.
Okay, do you have a short answer to that?
Sure. So, very good points for both of you, by the way. We have a very different kind of gene pool going on down here. It's a huge melting pot of people. I think that we've been ignored from the technology side for quite some time, and I think that's now starting to really grow and typed up, and our mayor is doing just a fantastic job lately with respect to being a cheerleader for our city. And he's also understanding this new arbitrage of the remote worker, which is, all these people now are working from Zoom, they're working from home, and, we don't need to be tied to one city. So mayors can now compete against each other for workers, for talents, etc. And I think that's going to be a great thing for us as well. But in terms of the actual people down here, it's been mostly real estate, medical, hospitality. That's kind of really been the bread and butter of the South Florida economy. We also have again, it's kind of like hospitality, but travel, cruise lines, etc.
And nightlife.
You know, nightlife too, entertainment. You know, but technology, again, we've been kind of lacking behind. We haven't had that infrastructure. We need investors to come down here. We need people to fund different ideas. And there's a lot of people with different perspectives down here. On my team with BitStop, the entire team, except for this gringo here, is pretty much, it's all Latin American. All of my developers, they're from Nicaragua, they're from Cuba, they're from Venezuela. And Bitcoin means something to these people. Like, you know, my team, it's not skin in the game, it's soul in the game. So for us, it's life and death. And like Tone was saying earlier, if you're here just to get rich only, you may be disappointed because, again, you need to be here for other ideals, in my opinion. I think that you need to be here for the censorship resistance, for the freedom, for the flexibility, for all of those ideals that Bitcoin kind of really brought about into the mainstream. It's now possible with Bitcoin and decentralized technology. So I think that with the right infrastructure, we have like the typical South Florida, Miami hustler down here that just wants to go out and sell. They want to go out and build. They're waiting to be unleashed. And, you know, I know because it takes one to know one. I grew up here. This is, you know, I went to Palmetto, like high school, Jeff Vays' alma mater. You know, and again, it's one of those things where, you know, we need that talent, that entrepreneur ability to be unleashed down here. We have tons of entrepreneurs from different countries all over the world, especially Latin America, Central America, Caribbean, that just want to be unleashed. So yeah. I'm happy to have that infrastructure being built now more than ever for the tech side, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it. We have the sales structure already. We have like all the, you know, that kind of hustle mentality. But it's kind of been going towards the wrong things, like MLMs and pyramid schemes. Like, you know, we're tired of the Herbalife stuff.
Also, really good universities. I went to Florida State, and I'm a New Yorker. Yeah. Really good universities here as well. A lot of talent.
A lot of people come.
No one has ever learned anything at Florida State. I'm not a part of you.
But they come.
That's true.
They come for the Lambo and they stay for the revolution, and so it's very important that we're all here for the revolution. Okay, so that we touched on the community. Community here is very LATAM, which is important because they need it. It's not that they want to get rich in those countries, it's that they don't want to get poor, right? So now let's talk about businesses. You guys all have, well, at least I'm going to direct this towards you two boys in the end. Any opportunities in Miami for Bitcoin businesses or fintech businesses? How has your business personally done here?
It's been great. It was very slow in the beginning. You know, nobody knew, for us at least. We built a Bitcoin ATM business. We put the first Bitcoin ATM down in Florida. It was one of the first in the United States. So for me, it was like kind of a pioneer story where no one knew if Bitcoin would work out at this time. We're talking about 2013, 2014. So you have to believe in Bitcoin, which was weird back then. Like, nobody believed in it, almost. And then subsequently, then you had to believe that ATMs had a market. And so we put the first one down, we saw people show up, and that's when it kind of like, for me, that's when I was like, holy crap, this is really, like, there's a market here that needs Bitcoin, not because they just want to use it for payments or just something, you know, kind of nerdy, but it's really, like, these are, like my mom, my father, like, you know, old people even are buying from Bitcoin ATMs. And I was like, that opened my eyes. This is a necessity. People are using it literally in their daily lives every single day. I think the opportunity lies in the arbitrage between Latin America, Caribbean, Central America. We're here in Miami. This is where all these different countries are coming to do business. If you can solve difficult problems and areas of high friction, by starting a fintech company in Miami, I think there's a ton of different opportunities there. We're talking about business to business problems, business to consumer problems, waiting to be addressed. Whether it be Bitcoin or other decentralized cryptocurrencies, I think that like there's a ton of opportunity waiting to kind of, you know, for entrepreneurs to kind of strike at it. And I think that's probably where you want to be looking is that how can I arbitrage this? This is a protocol. Like, how can I solve real world problems for people, everyday lives using Bitcoin?
So I think if you're, let's say, just a retail investor, a trader, speculator, for example, our platform, we started cryptobanter.com. It's on YouTube. You can look it up, Crypto Banter. We used to run the CNBC Crypto Trader Show. We went on hiatus, then COVID hit. So now we're doing a whole platform. We're going to build it out to be kind of a 24/7 live streaming trading network. We have a lot of the biggest traders come on. Tone was on our first show, Luke Martin, a lot of the founders, you name it, and we profile a lot of the early stage stuff. So if you look at crypto now, you have Bitcoin, you have the Ethereum community, you have DeFi that's born out of the Ethereum community. We were lucky enough to kind of travel the world since 2017 on that same conference circuit. 1 week in Seoul, 1 week in Berlin, another in Silicon Valley, Korea, and we saw a lot of these early stage stuff, especially in the ETH community. We were at ETH DevCon in Prague and then in Osaka the next year, and you can see the makings of these devs, the smartest network effect in the world, and some of which had Latin American contingents based out of here. And then what started happening after ETH DevCon, some of those companies started moving here. Reserve, they moved their whole team from Oakland to here to Miami, like in a stealth mode. And what do you know, Peter Thiel was one of the main investors in Reserve, and now Peter Thiel bought 2 mansions on Rivalto Island on the Venetian for 18 million. So did Keith Rabois. The mayor's meeting with them. The mayor met with Beckham today. The mayor was at the kickoff for Blockchain Week Monday here at the lab that we spoke to him with. And Scott Spiegel, the co-founder of that ran Blockchain Center with Erica, is issuing a Miami DAO, right? So for people to vote on governance measures for the city of Miami. So you see how this network effect has gone worldwide to then people moving here to Miami and building stuff because you can. So there's this very interesting undercurrent. Keep your eyes and ears open of anything going on in DeFi, of course. Just on the trading wise with crypto banter, because we've talked a lot about it, the next narrative maybe being Polkadot and its ecosystem, Cosmos and its ecosystem. There's a lot of things happening. Talk amongst yourselves after this. Like I said, we want to make it a quick panel, and then really, different pockets after this. Talk to each other. I know mining. You presented a whole new mining opportunity today there at the lab. So anyone who wants to talk about mining, etc., it's about connecting afterwards, because that's super important.
Definitely, we'll make this panel open.
I'll be quick. These guys have companies that they've built over here. I don't. I am my own company, and I travel the world as my own company. And this is where I want to be spending my money and my Bitcoin. I'm working right now, taking videos of this and tweeting it out, because that's work for me. And I'd rather do that here than in other states that don't want to give their people freedom.
Let's go. Yeah, we definitely love our governor here. Shout out Ron DeSantis if you're listening. All right, cool. So regulatory climate, I'll just go over that really quick. The cool stuff with the regulatory climate in the state of Florida per se, we have no state income tax, we have a great quality of life, we have a low cost of living until everybody moves here. You're gonna mess it up, but it's okay. As long as you don't force me to do certain things, we're good. As long as you support free and mobile, we'll be here. And then also we have a fintech sandbox in the state of Florida right now. A couple projects, I think the Miami DAO is trying to get into the fintech sandbox, but what it's doing is it's allowing cryptocurrencies and blockchain projects to operate in a way where they can't come under regulatory scrutiny. So that is very exciting about the regulatory climate. Now, do you guys have any suggestions for city officials in terms of what we can do to make it better?
Keep on doing what we're doing. We're kind of kicking ass right now.
Yeah.
So I would say, 0%, state income tax. Honestly, there's not many better places right now. We got great weather. We got, cheap labor ready to be put to work, ready to be, trained. There's really not much to complain about. The only thing else I can say is that, you go to Puerto Rico, they got this great act there too, if any Puerto Ricans are up in the house, Act 60, but Miami's a great place. Not much, just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, seriously, don't fuck it up. I'm serious.
So I think there's a very big actionable step that we can take, and the mayor, Suarez is great. He's gotten, Chamath met with him over the weekend and wants to leave California and is in a duel with Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
He met with the Winklevoss twins, and the Winklevoss twins pressed him hard and said, hey, will you invest 1% of the city's treasury into Bitcoin specifically? He didn't say no. He said he wants to look at it and it'd have to go to maybe a commission vote. I'm not sure what the governance is on that. Maybe we can make a DAO around that. But I think we can create an actual support wave and tweet at him. We'll send out a concerted effort tweet
Yes.
to get them to invest 1% of the city's treasury in some sort of crypto fund. It can be a diversified fund. It could be the GBTC fund for all that matters.
That premium.
And if there is a governance DAO sort of voting blockchain effort to be the first major metropolitan city in the country to do it, that's actionable steps, and we can literally make it happen by a tweet storm, which can come at the end of the week. Let's plan for that Friday moving forward.
All right, guys, we got actionable items. I'd love Adrian to tweet storm coming his way.
All right, I'll go local real quick, but I want to go to a higher level. It would be amazing if the mayor of Miami did invest 1% of the treasury into Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, and held it himself. I'm happy to recommend a nice secure wallet, just Bitcoin, only Bitcoin, no DAO, no middleman. You get a hardware wallet, you do multi-sig, and you just hold it yourself, cold storage. That's the only thing I would recommend. On a higher level, if the state of Florida, this will be very, very difficult, but I think one of the biggest problems, and will probably lead to the collapse of, eventually, of America as a superpower, is their obsession with money laundering laws. I think that money laundering laws is probably the most atrocious thing we have. The Bank Secrecy Act, FATCA regulation, FBAR, it all started with the Patriot Act. All of that is a problem. Money is your property. Money itself should not be criminalized. And the more politicians understand the fact that money is just a medium that should not be politicized and is not criminal in itself by having money, is the future. And whichever nation in the future accepts the fact that Bitcoin is just politically neutral money that you have to accept, that will be the future superpower, and Florida can lead the way there.
I definitely think Florida is a huge position to take over. So we are going to continue our promise to keep this short. I know we want to move to Q&A. I know it's hot in here, and there's some drinks over there. And food, Scott is bringing food, so we'll have some food as well. But, guys, any tips that you have for newcomers that come to the city? Mine is, don't be surprised when nobody uses a return signal.
Embrace the Latin food if you haven't already. I mean, we have great conversations here. That's probably why we don't have a meth problem in Miami. So everybody's constantly caffeinated with some of the best Cuban coffee out there. So get yourself a colada, down the whole thing just like I do every morning. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the food's great, sun's great, the people here are beautiful.
Service is trash.
Service is horrible. So get used to that. Yeah. That's probably my recommendation. The food, the culture is vibrant here. This is, it's the sazon, the life. It's beautiful here. So
just don't pay tourist prices. So don't go don't do Ocean Drive. Go to Sandwichery or do some Java and pay regular prices. They're going to tax you 18% service charge anyway for bad service. And two other things. Enjoy the outdoors, do, South Point Park at sunset and just hang out, or the Bay Walk here on the Miami side. And lastly, get involved. It's so easy in Miami because we're a small town. People know each other. People remember each other's names. Yeah. It's not New York and LA where it's faceless and nameless. No, it's a small town. Literally, we grew up here and we've known friends our whole lives, and they're still around. A lot of people leave and come back, and it's like this mini renaissance, but get involved. There's so many organizations that welcome outside support and involvement. If you have a nonprofit cause, or if you have a crypto cause, Erica's the go-to person for that in Miami, hands down. And lastly, because I'm on the board here, and we brought it here, we're gonna wrap up, consider making a donation to the Film Gate to support independent artists and creators, and they're gonna be tokenizing a fund, a production fund, which is also a use case. And seeing crypto and blockchain in action is the main goal. So we're going to announce that later on this quarter.
So this is the do as I say, not as I do section, because it could be too late for me, as you can tell by the hair. I wish I spoke Spanish. I really do. I think I really wish I spoke Spanish. It's so useful, and if you're an American and you don't speak Spanish, it'll do you. It'll be really good. Just try to learn it. Don't see it as a bad thing.
My suggestion, guys, is that in this state and with our governor and the people in charge and the people that live here, we definitely love freedom. If you do not love that, there are 48 other states that you can go to. Please don't change what happens here. Love you very much. So now, last question. So if you guys know, the mayor of Miami came out to the opening of the blockchain center. He did a ribbon cutting ceremony for us, and last year he dedicated this week to Miami Blockchain Week. So if you guys don't follow Mayor Francis Suarez, please do so now. That way we can tweet storm him. We'll do a coordinated tweet storm on Friday. But last question for you guys. So this time last year, I don't remember what the price of Bitcoin was. No? Anybody? Lower.
Last year?
Is this February?
About 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about 7,000 to 8,000.
Yeah, and I tried to tell the mayor to put the funds in the 1% to Anthony Pump and the whatever. It didn't work. Now, this time next year, Bitcoin price predictions, guys. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but this time next year, what do you think the price of Bitcoin will be? And then we're going to open it up to Q&A.
This time next year, 150,000.
JP Morgan predicts 145K at the top. I see us ranging right now. Maybe we hit above 50, come back down to this range, hit a low of 24, back to 70, 80 range. So I'd say between 50 and where we're at now. But we'll see some crazy fluctuations. I don't see 145 in the cards until the next halving whatsoever. I see us in this range for a bit.
Look, I have a reputation for being like a bear that hates Bitcoin in this space, but I am really bullish right now. I would be very surprised if we're under 100,000 by this time next year.
And my price prediction as well, $100,000 by this time next year, at least. And Elise runs Crypto Mondays VR, and if you guys watch Crypto Mondays in VR, she does them a lot, and they're great. All right, so Chi, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Walter O'Leary, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm also a national faculty at UM. My question to you is, congrats for being pioneers, but the recent announcement last week is that the fund that runs the debt side for the US government, BlackRock, has just applied to the SEC to have 2 of its funds be able to trade Bitcoin futures. So now you have a situation where the floodgates are open. Be careful what you wish for. You have a US government proxy now trading, or hopefully willing to trade, Bitcoin futures. So that means that it's already in the mainstream. So it's a question of time. Are you prepared to accept the fact that institutional investors are now going to come into a space where you now have a limited supply, and now it's a question of how that supply is being allocated, meaning prices can only go in one direction?
We got in first.
You want to go first, or I?
The short answer is yes, we are prepared for this.
I'll give a more detailed answer. So when these regulated funds get approval to trade futures, they are trading on the CME futures. And the big difference is the CME futures, they have gold futures, they have oil futures, they have S&P futures. Now, the CME gold futures are the price discovery of gold. The CME oil futures are the price discovery of oil. But the CME S&P futures are not the price discovery of the S&P. It's the 500 companies that are being traded independently. And when you trade the S&P futures, you're just basically betting on the outcome of a boxing fight that you have no control of. And Bitcoin is the same way. So people can bet all they want on the CME futures. They don't have control of the underlying price of Bitcoin. The underlying price of Bitcoin is still controlled by those that are trading Bitcoin on the underlying exchanges. And the CME is actually having trouble getting a handle on the transparency of how it's being traded on the underlying exchanges, because Bitcoin is just too unregulated of a market. So I'm actually not worried about the institutions coming in and trading the CME futures, because they will not be able to manipulate the price of Bitcoin, because they're just betting on an outcome that they have no control of.
I'll follow that up with, if you weren't early and if Bitcoin is going to be gobbled up by the original holders and the institutions, there's DeFi and there's a lot more in crypto to diversify into. DeFi, I think is I mean, it's decentralized finance. What I've seen develop from the Ethereum community in the last 4 years is incredible. And so take a deep dive into that if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And
also, we're starting, so if you guys scan that QR code that passes by that talks about the classes, Adrian is also starting a class that's going to help people get off zero when it comes to DeFi. So if anybody's interested in getting set up with exchanges, just the different DeFi projects, please scan that QR code, fill out the survey, and then if you do check that you want to learn about DeFi stuff, we'll send Adrian your information. It'll be a really good class. Also, you're going to be teaching about sentiment trading as well?
yeah.
Cool.
And follow Tone, he's a master trader, one of the more brilliant minds in the space. I've seen him all over the world. Your predictions are...
I bet you sure. I am former Wall Street. I was at Bear Stearns during the collapse.
Yeah.
They're gone now.
Yes, I was there. I was then actually building risk models. That didn't work out very well, though. I'm not proud of that.
Follow Tone. He's one of the more brilliant minds in the space, bar none. Absolutely.
The masters in financial engineering from Florida State, as Florida State was mentioned earlier.
There you go.
What's the Twitter handle?
Tone Vays.
Just everything is TONEVAYS everywhere.
All right, and then go ahead. Question. Anna, do you have a question back there?
Anna's back there somewhere.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Travis Finley. I'm a senior at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. I'm a graphic design student, marketing communications. So first off, I know that recently the U.S. government introduced the Stablecoins Act. The Stablecoins Act. Okay. And so with institutional investors wanting to get into this market, I just want to get you guys' thoughts really quick. You can just think about this as far as how is this going to affect Bitcoin, because it's known to be extremely volatile. And my friend here recently had been going through the charts, and there was a gap at 9,600. And so, yeah, there was a CME gap. You know, normally those have to be filled. So, but anyway, that's the talk of anything. Bitcoin is extremely volatile when you're dealing with institutional investors and money. That's a big problem. But what I really wanted to ask was, as far as Francis stating that he wanted Miami to be the capital, this to be the crypto capital, how are we going to go about helping the education? Like, what would be your guys spearheading to educate the masses? Like we talked about that the millennials are more into trying to get into technology and crypto and whatnot, but how do we educate the older generations and the older people as far as...
Well, just real quick, for one, in the city of Miami, we do have those classes, so please scan that and sign up to get people off of zero. And we also all are working to get businesses to accept Bitcoin as well.
Wait, and then my last question was, what?
One at a time.
No, it's really quick. So what were other outside of Bitcoin, what's your favorite altcoin? Mine is XRP. Please do not listen. Do not listen. Do not mention the SEC lawsuit unless you want to talk about technology. It's very efficient. Technology, XRP is definitely revolutionary.
We got it. All right, I'm gonna go first real quick. To me, it's only Bitcoin. I don't touch anything else. I advise people not to touch anything else. It's either Bitcoin or scam coins. So prior to this election, I always said it's Bitcoin or US dollar. I'm not high on the US dollar anymore, so now it's only Bitcoin. But for the other two questions, real quick, one of them is the Stablecoins Act. It doesn't, like, stablecoins, they're generally irrelevant. Stablecoins, whether the government approved or not government approved, it's the same old system. There's nothing there. The only thing about a stablecoin is the fact that the governments want to eliminate physical dollars so they can have more control of watching how you spend your money. there's nothing technologically that's revolutionary. There's nothing economically that's revolutionary. It's just a conduit to have, a control over your life with their currency, and Bitcoin is really messing them up. So stable coins are irrelevant to me as well. The other question about education, I think the biggest problem with education is that students aren't taught about money, Austrian economics specifically. So if there's anything that needs to change in education is more on Austrian economics versus Keynesian economics. That's the only thing that really matter in this particular space. And as far as the technology goes, people adapt to technology. My dad is 70. Eventually, he got on email. Your parents will eventually get on Bitcoin, but teaching them about Austrian economics is more important. Technology, you adapt to the technology.
And I sent my whole family Bitcoin for Christmas last year. They're all very happy with it because it quadrupled in price. XRP, buddy, just let it go. Just let it go, all right? It's a centralized company that's released a token. Look at decentralized.
Oh, one second. XRP, the first thing the SEC has done right in like a decade.
Yeah. And they might settle and they might burn tokens and it might skyrocket. Who cares? It's not the harbinger of things to come. Look at the DeFi space. Get involved with stuff like Vays and the Yearn ecosystem. If you want some crazy calls, the Badger DAO ecosystem right now is very interesting. There's DeFi and Bitcoin. That's going to revolutionize what DeFi is doing right now. Those are my thoughts.
And in terms of education for millennials, guys, turn off your TVs and screw Hollywood. Like, don't screw it, but like, turn it off.
I think that building products and tools and services to educate the public is also something that's very important. At BitStop, our Bitcoin ATMs are educating first-time users every day. In fact, 60% of all of our customers are buying Bitcoin for the very first time. The average age of our customer is about 40 years old. So the oldest customer we have is 98 years old. I have people that are Ubering to my Bitcoin ATMs, getting out in a wheelchair, disabled, to go buy Bitcoin. And they're literally spending 20, 30 minutes in front of the ATM. And our number one most important principle of BitStop is to educate our customer, and we do a lot of that at the screen. So we know that our customers may not have a Bitcoin wallet. So what did we do? We built one for them in mind. We looked at the wallet landscape and said, wow, there's a lot of wallets here that are very complicated and confusing. They have all these advanced features made for Bitcoiners, but they're not made for my mom or for my grandmother. Who's going to cater to these people, this demographic? What about them? It's got to be simple. It's got to be easy to use. It has to pass the grandmother test. If my grandmother can't use it, how can it ever go mainstream? And education is important. You can do a lot of that by building for these different demographics to bring them onto Bitcoin. Once they have it, Bitcoin will do the rest. It will make them question some of the norms and things that they held as guarantees in their life and go, wait a second, this is different from everything else I've been used to. And that questioning is the most dangerous thing that people in control don't want us to do, is question, money, for instance, financial literacy. These things were not taught to us, all the different things, we were taught Keynesian economics, not Austrian economics. So, build something, go teach, whatever it may be. If you know, then educate your parents, start there. Remember, it starts with you first. In order to change the world, you have to change yourself, then you can change your community, and your community will change the world. So, start with yourself.
One very quick thing because what you said about turning off the TV. When you say hey, you guys got into Bitcoin early and got lucky. No, we didn't get lucky. I turned off the TV in about 5-6 years ago, and mainstream US television, and I started watching Al Jazeera and Russia Today, RT, because I wanted a foreigner's view on America, and that's how I learned about Bitcoin. So turn off the US mainstream media and start watching foreign media about the US, and you will be way more educated.
Yeah, I definitely I definitely stopped watching TV when I was 14 years old. And people say that, they're oh wow, that's why they're actually smart. So anyways, alright guys, one more question, and then we're gonna move on. one more question. So pick a good person, Elise. Yes, the lady right there. Lovely. Hi.
Hello. Nice to meet you, everyone. Okay, so I want to know the official definition of what Bitcoin is that I can explain to my 8-year-old cousin.
That's really hard.
And my 8-year-old grandma.
All right.
I have a T-shirt that you can buy on the website, and it literally says, unconfiscatable, censorship-resistant store of value.
Okay, hopefully my grandma can understand that.
So the important part of that is, like, for example, right now you're seeing Trump get all of his...
Wait, quick question.
Yeah, say that about me.
Quick question. Where's your grandma from?
She's foreign, so she's...
From where?
Iran.
From Iran?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. If she has Bitcoin, and this is great for most of the people in foreign, and the Iranian currency devalued a lot. And this is where Bitcoin's important. It's the store of value and the censorship resistance. If her life savings is in Bitcoin, it will not devalue over a long period of time, and she can send money to anyone in the world, and she can receive money from anyone in the world. And this is the greatest tool that we have in the world to basically give yourself. You can be your own bank. And the older people have been through currency crisis in any country other than the US. So unless your grandma was born in the US, she has experienced financial disaster, and Bitcoin saves that.
I mean, you're going to see major people get cut out of the banking system, and that's not okay. So Bitcoin, whether you agree with these people or not, is unsensible money.
I would say to your grandmother and to your 8-year-old, it's like money, cash, but digital. That would probably be the easiest definition that I would give them. However, to some of the points of the other colleagues here, it's easier to honestly experience it than it is to kind of try to teach it sometimes. And if you can get a little bit of it, if it's possible, wherever they are, to get a little bit of Bitcoin. Not a lot, $20. You can buy $10 of Bitcoin from a Bitcoin ATM for cash, and you can make an account right at the screen. You don't have to wait like 5 to 7 days for approval. You can leave with your private keys instantly, and if you can just get a little bit of Bitcoin and then send it to each other just to practice one time and see how that transaction happens, I think that experience will say a lot and educate you a lot about what Bitcoin is and what the possibilities are there. It starts there. You know, I can tell you, but when you experience it, it really just changes everything, in my opinion.
And lastly, Bitcoin is all of us. It's not a board, it's not shareholders, it's not the bankers, nobody's getting any bonuses for signing new customers. It's all of us. And so just to wrap up, because I know Erica, you have the last word, but for everyone here, everybody.
I got one last thing.
Speculating, raise your hand. Great, connect. If you're a builder, raise your hand. Who's building? Connect. If you're a dev, especially if you're a dev, that's the backbone of a lot of this stuff. Definitely connect. If you're miners, connect. And then follow Tone Vays for sure. Follow us, Crypto Banter. We're on Twitter and on YouTube. Definitely subscribe. Crypto Man Ran, also our host. And Erica's groups.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Twitter at Bank of Erica, Bank of ERYKA. So I know you have one more thing to say, but you gotta keep it short, buddy. Okay?
I will.
And then giveaway, so I hope you guys put I hope you put your business card.
Oh, we got a raffle.
Yeah, we got a raffle.
Going back to whether it's grandma or whether it's your 8-year-old niece or your 8-year-old daughter. And look, Bitcoin is technologically complicated. It is. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy. But the bigger challenge is mental. You will always learn. Look, driving a car is hard too. Flying a plane is hard. But if you really want to fly a plane, you can learn to fly a plane. The challenge is mental. Convince people why they need to hold Bitcoin. And when they understand why they need to hold it, they will, like the people in wheelchairs, coming to buy Bitcoin from a Bitcoin ATM machine, when it's important, they will do it. Just like if Trump gets deplatformed from the banking institutions, as much as he hates Bitcoin, he will learn how important Bitcoin is by having every Trump hotel say, screw the banks, we will take Bitcoin for the rooms. And he will get a lot of business, okay? So it's the mental challenge that's really, really important.
All right, you guys see one of our panelists? So we also do love our community here and we have a birthday. So the birthday queen, please come up. Guys, this is Federica. She started an Italian-American Blockchain Association. You guys should see that they have rice in the front that was tracked with the Bitcoin blockchain. So it's pretty interesting for Italy. But you guys, if nobody knows what this is, whoever the winner is, I will show you what this is, but it's really cool. It's like a blow-up pouch. Blows up really quickly. You want to pick a winner first, Federica?
I think Erica should blow it up and like sit down in it for a picture.
Does anybody want to throw last minute? No, it's okay. This is like Bitcoin. If you get it early, you're good.
Oh wow, it's like 1 of 8.
It's not in early. All right, let's see. So we have Jose, CEO of LATAM. The CEO of LATAM. Wow. Latin America. Jose. Jose Alvarez. Can you read this for me? It's a Latin last name.
Jose Alvarez.
Jose
Alvarez. Alvarez.
Jose.
No, Alvarez.
Where's Jose?
Alvarez.
LATAM is in the, that's not the airline LATAM, is it?
Okay, go once, go twice, not so.
No Jose.
Oh, I really like this part. I know who this is. Jason from Liberty X.
Oh, Liberty X ATMs. Are you guys here? There he is, Jason. Oh shit.
Where's the cake? Bring the cake up. Come on. All right, Jason.
Jason, long time no see, buddy.
Yeah. You guys, Jason, I'm so glad you won this. Jason is definitely an OG in the community, and well, not Miami community, but we'll see. Maybe we'll move here. But Liberty X is a pretty cool platform for ATMs as well. So here you go, Jason. I'll show you how to blow up. Okay, now. All right, guys. So there's food over there. If you can't smell it already, it's really good. Thank you, Scott, for bringing it. Please connect with each of our speakers. And on three, we're going to sing happy birthday to Federica. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Erica. Happy birthday to you.
Alright, everyone make a Bitcoin price prediction. Wish for yourself. Enjoy cake, enjoy some food, and thank you for coming.
Alright, thanks guys. We're going to try and bring a Bitcoin conference to Miami in a few months. Look out for that. Unconfiscatable, look out for that.